Welcome to the Tangent Podcast. I'm your host, Austin.
And I am your other host, Jack.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're glad to be here with you.
We are so freaking pumped.
And today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're just going to be shooting the breeze with each other, talking about some cool stories, and just kind of whatever we want.
Right, we don't have a super set agenda on this one. We wanted to make it a little bit, excuse me, table. A little bit, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Unscripted.
Yeah.
Raw.
We do go pretty unscripted normally, but this is completely without script.
We're expanding our horizons
We are.
today.
Let us know what you think about it.
Yep. Well, the one thing we do have set that we've been planning is the fine folks over at Bang Potent Brain and Body Fuel Energy Drinks have created the wonderful flavor of Birthday Cake Bash, and we knew we had to try it. So
This is our due ski. I'm doing quotes for the show, and we're gonna let you know how it is. And if you were wondering, because I've been wondering for a long time, I just haven't had the guts to buy it because I knew it would be awful. But we're here to tell you if that will be it. So Vital Pharmaceuticals Inc. Let's see what you got on this. You ready?
let's pop these bad boys open.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Don't spill on my computer.
I won't. I spilled on my phone a little bit. Do you have like a napkin or a paper towel?
I have this.
Oh, toilet paper, even better. Dude, is this one ply?
Probably. I don't know.
Is this the same stuff you use in your bathroom?
No, absolutely not.
I'm gonna say, dude,
I have some
you're
self-decency. This is just for blowing my nose.
doing yourself a great disservice if you're using one ply in the bathroom.
You got yourself a garbage right there.
Okay, you ready to down this thing?
Down this thing.
Tastes nothing like a birthday cake.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
It started okay. I was like, wow, okay.
You know what it tastes like is really crappy sprinkles.
Yeah, it does. Like 8-year-old sprinkles from a dollar store.
Like stale sprinkles. Scale of 1 to 5.
1 to 5? What kind of scale is that?
1 out of 5. 5 being the highest.
1
Yeah, I'd say.
and a
1.
half? Tops? This is awful.
Yeah.
I can't
definitely
say I'm
not good.
surprised, but that's terrible.
They better keep to their word, and it better give me a potent brain during this podcast.
This is terrible.
I'm going to read this. It says, make no mistake, Bang is not your stereotypical high-sugar, life-sucking soda masquerading as an energy drink. High-sugar drinks spike blood sugar, producing metabolic mayhem, causing you to crash harder than a test dummy into a brick wall.
Wow.
Power up with Bang's potent brain and body-rocking fuel. Super creatine, caffeine... what is that? CoQ10? Okay, CoQ10.
I honestly thought it was Cock 10.
CoQ10 and EAAs, which are essential amino acids. Life is an extreme sport, and Bang is the extreme energy source to live life extreme.
Well, nowhere in there did they say it was delicious, so...
Well, you see, that explanation's fine, but what ticks me off is they spelled extreme just with an X.
Because that's the cool, hip way to
Is
do
it?
it,
Okay.
I think. This is awful.
Yeah, it is gross. 0 out of 5, do not recommend.
Ooh. Mm-mm. Do not get it. Next we'll have to... Oh, gosh.
Not good.
That's so bad. Why do I keep drinking it?
Yeah.
That's bad. I'm wondering how that got past the drawing boards. Okay. Now that wasted 5 minutes, you know that to not buy that.
Yep.
Please, don't. Bang, if you're listening, stop making it.
You suck.
Immediately.
Have you tried anything else from Bang before?
I think I had one called Star Blast once.
Star Blast!
And it was alright.
We need to edit that out. That was stupid.
I don't think I'm going to.
Okay.
Hey, dude, it's midnight. We got some energy drinks. This is gonna be a fun episode.
Great. Fantastic. What should we kick it off with? Some space news?
Space news,
Now that we
please.
have some potent brains from our friends at Bang.
Are you still drinking that?
Dude, I need energy, man. It's midnight.
Take something else from the fridge. Anything else.
I think I'm good now. Plus, I need my daily allotment of CoQ10s and amino acids. These are no ordinary amino acids. They are essential amino acids.
Probably might want to put that on the fridge each time.
I'll put it on the fridge. Sorry, I'm making a lot of... there's so much crap in here.
It's all your crap.
I know. Okay, ready.
Tell me what you got for space.
Throwing down some space news. Alright, well, this one's interesting. A Chinese lunar rover has discovered a weird gel-like substance on the dark side of the moon. And they are currently trying to analyze it, but with no results yet. But a new substance was found in space. Could potentially be evidence of life. But we don't know yet, so that's kind of cool. They found something new. And then this one as well just made me laugh. They have furthered the... Basically, they have discovered more evidence to show that there is methane on Mars, which could potentially be a biosignature, which I already knew, because methane
Stop it.
here is
Don't.
definitely a sign of life. Actually,
It's a sign of death.
it's a sign of death. You're right.
Let's be real.
You're right. But they are classifying it as a potential sign of life, which is pretty cool. We've known there's been methane there for a while, but they have seasonal spikes. So it's the highest in the summer. And right now they're having the biggest methane spike since 2013. So, yeah, further evidence of life on Mars.
Have you heard of Elon Musk's plan for Mars? Actually, I think he changed it.
Dude, he changes it like every day, doesn't
So
he?
originally, what he wanted to do was apparently he wanted to nuke both
Oh, yeah.
poles of
Yeah.
Mars, which apparently would
Make it habitable, right?
it would do some sort of reaction and
Some science.
yeah, some science, and basically it would it would do a greenhouse effect and create an atmosphere. Apparently, I think he changed it, and now he's saying a better option would just to be point a ton of like mirrors at it, and so like the sun bounces off and hits Mars and just warms it up that way.
Interesting.
So I think Elon Musk is planning on pointing 1 billion mirrors at Mars.
Shooting a super high powered beam at Mars.
Pretty much, essentially, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But all we do know is Elon Musk wants to get to Mars. Like, he is no stranger when it
Right.
comes to getting to Mars.
Dude, I also heard apparently Vladimir Putin came out and said he was promising to have Russians on Mars by 2019 and then updated it to 2020. So,
Delayed?
yeah. So, yeah.
Oh.
Potentially Mars will have humans within the next 2 years. We're 2019 right now.
Oh, it is 2019. Holy crap.
Oh,
I didn't even
wow.
think about that.
I get real mixed up with my years there. But yeah, kind of cool. New substance on the moon
How long
and
does it
more.
take to get to Mars? By, like, shuttle. Space shuttle. Whatever.
I don't know.
How long does it take to get to the moon? Isn't it like
Let's
3
see.
months to get to the moon?
I think 2 years.
2 years to get to the moon?
No, to Mars.
Oh, that makes sense.
Let's see. How long will it take to get to Mars? 7 months, apparently.
Oh, that's shorter than I was expecting.
It's just the trip takes around 7 months, a bit longer than astronauts currently stay on the ISS. But I think that can change depending on seasons and where it's at in its orbit. So, dude, are you still drinking that?
I forgot. I got thirsty. I reached for a can. That's what I do. That's just what I do.
Would you like me to get you another beverage?
I'm okay. Oh gosh, that's so bad.
It is bad.
That leaves a bad aftertaste. You're gonna regret that. You know you're gonna regret that.
Yeah. It does kind of smell. Oh. Never mind. It does not smell like a birthday cake. Ugh.
Jeez, it kind of smells rotten.
Yeah. Maybe we did get rotten ones.
Oh, it's got a patent.
They were selling those way cheap. Maybe they're past their prime.
All right.
I don't ever think it had a prime. That is disgusting.
That is bad. Any other space news you got for us?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right.
I mean, there's tons of little stuff.
Right.
SpaceX is always doing something new.
The Space Force is coming
Oh,
about.
the Space Force. I didn't mention that, yeah. Donald Trump this has been announced for a while, but he's planning on creating another military branch called the Space Force.
I'm pumped.
Right. Sounds cool.
Dude, it's just one step closer to Star Wars.
Being galactic warriors.
Right?
Jack and I want to sign up.
We do.
We'll figure that out.
We'll be your commanders.
Yep.
Welcome aboard. We're going to go find them alien cheeks.
You know what? I was just thinking, the aliens that are watching Earth have got to be laughing at us, like, planning on how to create atmosphere on Mars. Like, let's just bomb it. Oh, wait, no, let's just, like, point a super high-powered light beam at the planet. And I just imagine them, like, looking at us thinking it's, like, us with the magnifying glass and ants, like, trying to burn Mars.
What a bunch of idiots.
Right. I just think, from their point of view, it probably looks really funny.
It's interesting that we always think of aliens as way more advanced than we are.
Right.
When it's very probable, but it's also very probable that it's the other way around.
Right.
Maybe they're still in the caveman phase. That's why we haven't seen them yet.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, because if they are way more advanced, you could say, oh, we definitely would have made contact with them by now. But also, going with that, if they're more advanced, they'd be able to hide it. Like, maybe come here and like assimilate with us, you know? And not be detected by us. So.
Ooh, the burps those produce are bad. Sorry.
That was just a mistake.
Yeah, that really was.
Stick to the classics from now on.
Yep. All right. Onward from Space News, we're going to try something new. I don't know what we're going to call it. Did we come up with a name for it? We didn't, did we?
We haven't yet, no. No names yet for this.
If you have a good name idea,
segment.
let us know. Well, hold on. Let me check the email. I don't know have you checked the email recently?
I was going to log into it right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Check.
We're going to see if any of you said anything.
Hey, update. I will be... Actually, we're going to have a guest on the next podcast.
Ooh, who's that?
His name is Ben, and he'll be telling us his Skinwalker experience. So that'll be cool.
That's exciting. I'm pumped. Where's Ben from?
He's from Utah. He's from Salt Lake area.
Salt Lake area. I'm excited. Is he going to Skype in? Is he going to call in? Is he going to be in person?
That I don't have worked out yet. I got his phone number. Dude, do you remember the password?
Yeah, I think so. It is this one.
Oh, I gotta type in all the characters. Why do they make these so flippin' hard to read?
What?
Like when they say, type in the following text to prove you're not a robot.
Oh.
And then it's all these letters that don't look anything like letters to me.
It's so you can prove you're not a robot.
I think I'm logged in on my phone. Let me see. Are these case sensitive?
I don't know. You're struggling there, homie.
Yep. Doing a struggle.
Alright, one moment.
Any new emails?
Nothing new. No.
Okay. Well, that's a sign. Email us, guys.
Yeah, holy crap. This is clearly your guys' fault. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh no. Come back. Come back. Ah! I broke everything. Okay, here we go. Back. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
I knew this
Dude,
was
we're
going to be...
lose like our 3 fans after this episode, I swear.
Or we're going to gain 3 more.
I doubt that.
It is so hot in here.
It is.
All right, so for our new segment, I'm not sure how often we're going to do this. Every time, or maybe just every other time. I don't know. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about an urban legend or a creepy encounter or something of the sort, just like that, like we normally do. But what's different about this one is we are going to completely out of the blue pick a random one that none of us have ever heard of, and we're going to read it to you. So you're going to hear it firsthand the same time we're hearing it. And we'll give our thoughts based on that without any prep time like we normally have.
We'll go over believability and everything.
Right.
In the future, we want these to be your stories.
Right. Email them to us, your creepy encounters, or just something you heard about, or your friend. I don't know.
Right, our idea is just to kind of get a creepy story we can tell on the podcast, have some genuine reactions, and ultimately we want this to turn into you guys submitting your experiences and stories to us so that we can go over them as well, but we want it to be something, like Jack said, that's totally genuine and that we learn along with you guys.
I just happened to cross the subreddit r/paranormal encounters. I'm going to look through there. I'm going to scroll. I'm scrolling. Ooh. This one's got a few upvotes, and it's titled The Little Girl. And I'm a little scared. Would you rather hear The Little Girl or Cemetery Encounter with a Mythological Creature?
Oh, they both sound cool.
Well, it's your choice.
The Little Girl.
The Little Girl.
Children are creepy.
Children are terrifying. The Little Girl. Let's see. Make sure it's not... Oh, this isn't too long. Great. Giving credit, of course. This was posted by user u/ICDeadPeople.
Oh, fun.
This was 5 days ago this was posted. Again, titled The Little Girl. And everything from here on will be his words. Or her words. Or their...
Its words.
Its words, yes. From a very early age, I have had weird things happening that I cannot really explain. This story is about a house we lived in 1986 in southeast Texas. It's absolutely 100% true. I was 6 years old. The address was on Dyer Avenue. Anyone from Texas, if you know that place, go hit it up. The thing I remember most about living there is the girl. I do not know her name. All I know is she was always there. For years, I thought she was one of my parents' friend's kid who my mother babysat or was always visiting, but she was always looking for her father. I remember her waking me up many a night. Is that correct grammar? Many a night?
Yes.
Okay. I remember her waking me up many a night to ask me when her dad was coming back. My parents usually had company, and I would get in trouble for sneaking out of bed at night to get a peek at who was over because the little girl was always asking about her father and when he would return to her. She often looked ill, with dark rings around her eyes and pale skin. She had a long blonde hair about the middle of her back with bangs, just like me. Girl, probably. She wore a gray and white polka-dotted dress with a gray and white striped apron. Her shoes resembled what I call pilgrim shoes with a big shiny buckle. Her socks were folded down and had lace around them at the ankle. For years, I thought this little girl was a part of my childhood. When I asked my mother and father about what happened to her, they said they did not know what I was talking about. When I described her and her clothing, my parents turned white as a ghost and said, "You saw her too?" My mom and dad said they would pass by my bedroom and see what they thought was me sitting in front of a toy box in my room playing, but then pass by the kitchen window and see my sister and I playing in the backyard. When they would go to see my room and see who was playing in the toy box, toys would be strewn about, but no one would be there. These are memories that not only I, but my mother and father have as well. My sister was too young to remember at the house or anything about it. Strange things happened here. Something would lock up the dog in the laundry room. The door had a latch that latched from the outside, but the dog was constantly getting locked in the room and barking and wailing like it was being beat. The dog barked at certain spots in the house and was always on edge and growling and gnashing his teeth at something we could not see. There were sounds from the attic, like stomping and banging. Sometimes sounded like something being dragged across the floor above our heads. My dad would go up there in the middle of the night trying to find out what would be causing the noises. Nothing was ever found. Not so much as a squirrel or a raccoon. Something blacked both my dad's eyes out one night when the power went out. Wow.
Wait, like, gave him 2 black eyes, or just his eyes went black?
Something blacked both of my dad's eyes one night when all the power went out. He accused my mom of blacking his eyes, but she said he was trying to drown her in the bathtub during the power outage.
What?
Neither were near each other at the time of the power outage. They were both on opposite ends of the house.
Oh,
Wow!
that's scary.
Their bedroom caught on fire 4 times in the 1 year we lived there. This is the very first paranormal experience I've ever had that I can remember. I have always had many more throughout my life, but will never forget the little girl that eternally lives at my childhood home. I think about her often and wonder if she ever found her father.
Dude, sounds like that guy's got some serious demons following him.
I think it was a girl.
And, her. And her family.
Right?
Imagine sitting in the tub, taking a nice hot bath.
Power goes out.
Power goes out.
And then...
And someone strangles you in the tub and tries to drown you.
And you give them 2 black eyes. And then your husband has 2 black eyes. But he was on the separate side of the house and had nothing to do with your drowning, apparently.
That's messed up. And your bedroom just lights on fire 4 times?
In a year. Uh-oh.
Does it go on?
She posted an update.
Ooh.
And the first sentence is, "It gets weirder."
Go on.
All right. Says, "It gets weirder. My husband and I separated for about a year. He had a girlfriend that lived in that house with her father. This was about 10 years ago. His sister was friends with the girl he was dating, so him, his sister, and my nephew spent a lot of time there. One day, my nephew told me that John Richter was looking for me. I was confused. I told him I didn't know anyone named John Richter. He told me, 'You know? The man that fell off the ladder at the house and died? He said you could help him find his little girl. She is lost and scared.'" I called my sister-in-law and asked her WTF. She questioned my nephew about it when he got home to her, and he said he couldn't remember that ever happening. He was about 5 or 6 years old when it happened.
Dang.
So, 10 years later, her nephew says, "Oh, the guy at that house, the same house, that fell off a ladder and died is looking for his daughter. And there's a girl looking for her father." That's creepy.
That is creepy. Just imagine your 5-year-old nephew coming up and, "Oh yeah, Jack, remember that dude that just died at your house? Like, he's looking for you."
He's looking for you. He wants your help finding his daughter.
Oh.
You go, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. I would probably crap my pants.
Yep.
That is terrifying. Good luck to that lady. I hope she figures that out. That is crazy.
That's nuts.
Believability. What do you think here?
Believability. Dude, I don't frickin' know which part. All of it?
Yeah, there's so much to go off there. I mean, I don't know. It always does seem, though, like kids have some different type of connection with the
It's
other
always
side.
kids, yeah.
Right. I feel like kids, the veil is a lot thinner for them to the other side, and so they tend to have more of a connection there, you know?
Yeah, and plus kids can't make that stuff up.
Right. When they don't know what it is yet.
Right, exactly. That's how they can't make it up.
It's normal to them, you know. They don't.
It's not weird that
from,
it's someone who died is talking to them, kind of thing. They don't understand death.
Right, or they don't even know that the person's dead. They just see it as a person, you know, a normal person. It's nothing out of the ordinary to them, and maybe that's why, because they haven't developed that differentiation yet, and so they just see things differently, and they experience things differently because they don't have that knowledge yet, you know. I don't know.
Right.
But it always seems to be more prevalent with kids for whatever reason. But yeah, that's a crazy encounter. But it kept on going 10 years later too.
Apparently.
It's a weird thing. But it was her nephew, a 5-year-old kid that...
Someone who wasn't alive during the first occurrence, so how would they know about it? I don't know. Maybe it's some elaborate prank. Maybe they just made the whole thing up. Yeah. It is Reddit.
Dude, I don't know, but this is crazy. So when my sister was a little kid, we lived with my grandparents for a while, and my mom and dad would hear her talking. I was like a baby or not even born yet. My sister was like 3 at the time, but they would hear her talking to somebody in her room at night. So they would go in there, and there'd be no one in there. And who are you talking to? Oh, it's the white-haired lady. And she'd always say the same thing, like, oh, just talking to the white-haired lady. Like, she comes all the time, and she talks to me, and she's so nice. And, like, I love her. And so this went on for a while, and my parents just kind of, like, played it off.
Imaginary friend?
Right, like imaginary friend, or you're just, like, dreaming or something. But my sister saw a picture. I don't remember who it was, but it was one of my mom's, like, great-grandmas or great-aunts, great-great-aunts, something like that.
Long lost relative.
It was a dead relative that died when my mom was, like, a little kid.
Okay.
My sister saw a picture of it and was like, hey, that's the white-haired lady.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah. So that one hit a lot closer to home, So whenever I hear stuff like this, I want to believe that these people really see these things, but I also feel like I'm a pretty big skeptic. I'm a wanna believer, like I want to believe in it so bad,
right?
But I'm also just like, I don't know, like how do you explain that?
You can't,
right?
I don't know, dude. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm on the believability scale. I'm gonna say for a majority of that story, I'm gonna go higher than you might think.
Yeah.
7.
I think it's fairly believable. Yeah, out of 10, I'd say like a 6 to a 7.
When it gets to the part where power goes out and you hear the person gets drowned by the dad, I don't know about that one.
Right.
I mean, if she tried to punch somebody and said they were drowning me, and then the guy all of a sudden has black eyes, I don't know. That sounds a little fishy to me.
Yeah, I have no idea. But, I mean, the things that make me tend to believe it are that she said that her parents also, like, saw the same thing.
Right.
So her parents saw it, and it also happened again later in her life, and her nephew, like, saw it too. Mm-hmm. Like you said, kids, like, don't make that stuff up, So, those are the things that make me put it higher on the believability scale.
One thing that kind of, actually, I'm thinking about just now that makes me wonder is she posted that, 5 days ago, did I say?
Yeah.
Why didn't she include the update about later in life in the original post? Why would you update about that later? I feel like that's pretty prevalent. Why wouldn't you just put that in the main story?
Well, when was the original post posted? Was that 5 days ago, or was the update 5 days ago?
Let me find it. The original post was 5 days ago. The update was 5 days ago. It was the same day.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe she honestly just forgot to put it in there. I don't know, but
maybe. I don't know.
That is a good question. How does Reddit work? Can you message people on there?
You can, absolutely.
Dude, message her and see if she'll come on the podcast and tell it live. Like, talk to us about...
This is also interesting. She's been on Reddit for 25 days. That's brand new.
Yeah.
Not even a month.
Reach out to her. See if she'll come on the podcast.
Start chat. I will do that now.
Cool.
That would be sick. We'll do this with everybody we read about their stories. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be fun. Try and get them on. But yeah, we definitely want these stories to be from you guys too. And we're just today we wanted to kind of talk about some of our own experiences or weird things that we've had happen to us as well. But this is the kind of stuff we like. Kind of paranormal, weird, unexplained. I think everyone has had experiences like that, where something happens and you don't know how in the heck to explain it. Yeah, so we just wanted to talk about some of those. I know my buddies and I, when I was back in high school, we used to go and explore like old abandoned graveyards and stuff all the time, and old buildings, and we kind of tried to make things happen by doing that and have experiences, and we never really did. Maybe because my buddy Tyler was making holy water in his house. Yeah. So my buddy Tyler, he's like my best friend. He and I were the ones that would always go, and we were kind of the ones that started taking all our other friends on adventures. But he wasn't religious, but he knew that I was religious and stuff. And so one day I go over to his house, and I just walk in the front door. He's home alone, and I hear him like saying some chant in the kitchen. So I walk into the kitchen, and he's just got this water on the counter. And he's like saying this chant over it, and he calls me over. He's like, dude, I don't know if this is working. I'm trying to make holy water, but I'm not religious, and I don't know if it's holy yet or not. Like, can you like tell me if I'm doing this right? And I was like, yeah, sorry, dude, I don't make holy water.
I don't know anything about holy water, man.
But he even bought like this little vial with a picture of the Virgin Mary on Amazon, and so he'd take that with us whenever we went anywhere, and he'd like draw an X of holy water on the door as we'd like walk into a house or something, and then if something would happen and we'd like be running away, he'd sprinkle it over his shoulder as he's like booking it out of the place.
Hey, good for him though.
It was funny, yeah.
Maybe it helped. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'd be dead or possessed by demons if Tyler wouldn't have made that holy water. So appreciate you, Tyler. Thanks for doing that. I need to get him on the podcast. We've got some funny stories, and he'd be fun to chat with. But one time, it was Halloween. I think we were juniors this year. So I would have been 16 or 17. Yeah, and we went out so I'm from Salt Lake, but we went out to where the old Bingham Canyon copper mine is.
Oh, right.
And there's this old, like, pioneer / Native American, cemetery out there. And there's nothing within, like, a couple miles. There's, like, a warehouse out there, but it's, like, super far away, really dark. Cemetery is super old. I don't even know if they bury people anymore there. I think they do. But it's, like, a lot of old, like, pioneer and Indian graves. And you can walk through and see, like, this man, John Johnson, was killed by Indians. Like, it's pretty cool. But we went out there because supposedly the whole, like, copper mine area is pretty haunted. So Tyler and I go out there on Halloween just as it was getting dark, and we're just walking through. I was like recording the audio on my phone, my old LG Envy phone.
Nice.
Quality audio.
Absolutely.
But we're walking through. We were there for probably 20 minutes, just kind of like walking through, just messing around, like, hey, spirits, like if there's anyone out there, like manifest yourself to us, say something, you know. And I remember like walking through. Sometimes when we'd go places, I'd feel, like, pretty creepy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But not here. Like, we were just having fun. And that was kind of weird to me, because I felt like we're in a graveyard, like, trying to look for ghosts. Like, this should be creepy, out? You know? Yeah. Excuse me. Because I'm a pansy with that kind of stuff. Like, I get creeped out super easy. So I remember just like, man, this isn't creepy. Like, this is just fun. And so we're walking through, we get through, and after, like, 20 minutes, we got a message from some friends, and we were going to go to a Halloween party, so we were going to leave. And as we were leaving, we just, like, hear this dog barking that sounded really close. It just kind of, like, freaked us out for a second, like, jump scare. Mm-hmm. And then we heard, like, a voice, and it sounded like a little girl voice, but we couldn't, like, tell what it was saying. And it sounded just, like, kind of faint, but also, like, high-pitched, like it was exasperated. Not quite screaming, but kind of, like, high-pitched, like, desperate voice. And that was really creepy. So we ran to the car, and I replayed the audio, and we could hear it in the last couple minutes, like just this voice, like high-pitched girl's voice talking and saying something, and it sounded like scared or desperate.
Wow.
So that like freaked us the crap out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so we get in the car, we drive home. My house is like 15 minutes away. By the time we get to my house, like, we're fine. And we had just kind of like forgotten about it. So we go inside. My parents were gone. They were out of town. So we just go inside. We were grabbing a bite to eat, and we were blasting music on my computer. So super loud. My buddy's sitting on the couch, and I was going to go down to the basement to grab a jacket. And as soon as I, like, reached my hand out to grab the doorknob, the door just, like, swung open in my face. and it swung open so fast. So there was like a mini staircase right next to the door. Mm-hmm. So the door swung open so fast in my face that it hit the stairs and then like completely shut. So the force of it opening into the stairs also closed the door. If that makes sense.
You're right, right.
And there was like a loud knock on the door when it opened. So I like jumped back and I'm freaking out. And my buddy Tyler, he didn't hear the knock because the music was so loud.
Right.
But he thought it looked like I grabbed the door and like swung it open.
Just flung it real hard.
Yeah, I didn't even touch the knob though. I was reaching out for it when it like opened in my face. So he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, did you not see that? Like the door just opened right in my face," and I was freaking out. And he's like, "No, like what? Like what? You're just playing a joke on me or something." Then I was like, "No, dude, like for real, it just opened in my face." And so I opened the door and I looked down and I could see my jacket like hanging on the hook in the basement. And I'm like, I don't want to go get it, but it's freaking cold outside and like I gotta go get it. So I ran down as fast as I could and I just grabbed it like the whole time, like freaking out. And so then I'm like, dude, we gotta go. So we run out and we get to the front door, and the front door was unlocked. So my parents' front door is weird. Like you can open it even when it's locked. The door will turn from the inside and you can open it. So anytime, whether it's locked or not, you can turn the door handle.
Oh, right.
But I flipped it to unlocked and made sure it was unlocked. The deadbolt wasn't locked or anything.
That scared the crap out of me.
Lights just went dark in here. It was kind of creepy.
That was terrifying. That was my bad. Hold on. There you go.
So I made sure the door was unlocked, and like I'm 1,000,000% sure it was unlocked. And I start trying to open the door, and it would not open. And so I'm pulling like with all my might on the door handle, and it would not open. And finally, it starts to come a little bit. Like I started to pull it a little bit, and my friend Tyler by this time was freaking out too. And so I had both my hands on the doorknob, and he like put his hands around my hand, and we had to pull the door, and we both pulled as hard as we could, and it opened slowly, like someone was pulling from the other side. So we pull the door open, and we finally get it open, and we run out to the front of the house, and we're just like sitting there like staring at my house, like what the crap is going on. And so then we get outside, and Tyler's like, "Dude, I left my keys in the house." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like you're an idiot. Like I hate you so much right now." So we go back up to the door, and the door was locked. So that was weird, which we didn't lock it when we ran out. So we had to go through the garage, and I was freaking out. We're both freaking out. So he runs in, grabs his keys, and the same thing happened when we came back out. Like we go to open the door, made sure it was unlocked, and then we pulled, and this time it opened a little bit easier, but it still took like some force to get it open.
Right.
So we open the door, run outside, get in the car, drive away. We go to this party. We're there for a few hours, and then he dropped me off at home that night, and I was home alone because my parents were out of town. And I was just like the whole night. I had all the TVs on, all the lights on. I was like crapping my pants all night. Like any noise, I was like so tense. And I went to take the garbage out. So took the garbage out the front door. When I left, it was unlocked. When I came back, it was locked. So I went through the garage, and I tried it like 5 times, where I would go out the front door, leave it unlocked, go outside for a second, go back up, and the door would be locked. And that happened like 5 or 6 times. So after that happened, I just like went and laid in my bed for a minute and was having like anxiety attacks. So I called Tyler, was like, "Dude, can I sleep at your house tonight?" And he came and picked me up again. So I went over to his house and slept. But that was probably the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. And I don't know. I haven't talked to Tyler about it in a long time. So it'd be fun to have him back on and talk to him and see if he remembers anything else about it. But yeah, it was crazy, man. It was nuts.
That's insane.
Yeah, when my dad came home, I told him about it, and since we're religious, he like blessed the house, and after that, nothing happened. But, yeah.
You can bless a house?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could bless a house.
Cast out whatever's in the house or whatever. Yeah.
Guess it just never happened in my house. No,
yeah,
see,
good.
My problem with that stuff is you like to seek it out a little bit.
Right.
You said you were pansy. I was double that, dude. Like, I would not even, like, the only reason one time I ever did something paranormal was because I was tricked into it by a friend in high school. You know the Logan Nunnery.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he dragged me off to.
Well, see, all right, when I say that I seeked it out, like,
Soaked.
it's not like I went out and did a bunch of... Huh?
Soak.
I-
What's the past tense of seek?
Seeked?
Is it seeked?
Seeked?
I think it's soaked.
I soaked it out? That sounds... No. I seeked it out.
I don't like that. Continue.
I was gonna say I suck it out, but that doesn't work.
It works perfectly. I don't know what you're talking about.
I sucked it out. I don't mean that I like went out and did all these rituals and tried to get ghosts, demons to enter my life. But like we just go to places that like this place is haunted. Let's go check it out and see if anything happens.
Yeah, see,
you know, like
the word haunted popped up, and I shut down. I was like, no, absolutely not. Because at that point in my life, I was like, I don't know if this crap is real. I don't know if it's fake. I got no idea. I ain't taking my chances, though.
dude, I will say now, like I would not seek it out anymore because I know, like, it's too real for me now.
Speaking of which, we're gonna seek it out.
Yeah. Are we going to the
We're
Logan
doing it,
cemetery?
dude.
I told my wife about that, and she thinks we're stupid. But
Hey, there's no danger in this one.
there could be. I didn't think there was any danger going to a graveyard, and yet I had a ghost trying to keep me in my house, man.
Maybe it was trying to keep you protected.
From what? Here's the thing.
The outdoors.
Anytime anything like that happens, it's never a nice protective ghost. Okay?
You don't know that. We always just assume. We're assumers.
That's true. But I feel like guardian angels don't really... I don't know. I feel like guardian angels work like behind the scenes to protect you, you know? To the point where they're protecting you and you don't even notice it. Whereas demons, they're just wrecking up everything in your life and like making you know that they're there. Does that make sense?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, but you're right. Maybe we just say automatically like this is a demon or a bad spirit and we don't. You know what? To all the good spirits out there, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, good spirits.
We'll give you credit where it's due. Thanks.
You may have my birthday cake bang.
Yes. Yes.
Do not drink it. Don't do it.
I won't. I'm just looking at the can. You know, good spirits do exist because I feel like we should have died from drinking this. But we are still here and alive, so.
Thank you, good spirits.
Sorry, proceed with your story.
Oh, it's not much of a story. It's more of a... It's an urban legend where we're from. It's called the Logan Nunnery. I'm not sure how big it is. Probably not very.
I've heard about it, and I'm not from Logan, so...
Okay. Well, there's a nunnery up Logan Canyon, which is basically on your way to Idaho from Utah.
It's right next to my house.
Bear Lake or... What?
Logan Canyon.
Oh. I thought you meant the nunnery. I was like, you might want to move.
Yeah, there's no way.
The urban legend basically states that there was a nunnery, and there was one nun that apparently got preggers and tried to hide the fact that they had a baby, and then when it was born, she drowned it in the pond out front.
Messed up.
And now it's haunted by both the nun and the baby, I guess. You know, it was so long ago, and I was probably playing tricks on myself, just paranoia. But I thought I maybe heard something. I don't know what it was. Maybe some crying, because they say you can't hear the baby crying. Now, if I knew that beforehand, I probably knew it beforehand. I was thinking, do I hear a baby crying? I hear a baby crying, which it's possible, and maybe I did.
But there's like nothing else by the nunnery, right?
Nothing. No, it's
so
just...
if it was a
it's just
baby
trees.
crying, it would have been like there would not have been a baby near there.
You can maybe hear cars from the road. Maybe. Whizzing by. But no, it was... I don't know. I don't have enough to say. It was so long ago, too. But I was terrified, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
You can't go there now. It's private property. That friend that dragged me there bought it.
His dad bought it, right?
His dad bought it, yeah.
Do they still own it?
I think so. I think he has parties there or something like that. I'll have to hit him up.
Yeah, you should, man. Let's go. Let's go in the daytime.
Good call.
We watched a documentary, or not a documentary, but we watched like a ghost hunter show in my connections class when I started at Utah State.
Oh, because they went there, didn't they?
Yeah, some doc. I don't remember if it was Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures. It was the good one. Whatever one's like more.
You think I watched that crap? I was terrified of that crap.
Yeah, I was too. But it's the one that's, I don't remember which one it is. There's one that's like really fake, and then there's one that's like better made and more legit, and it was that one. But yeah, they went there in the day, dude, and it was still way creepy. Yeah, I think going along with what you said, like a lot of the like experiences and stuff that I've had and that anyone has, I feel like we can make things out of nothing, but at the same time when it happens to you, it's so real. You know?
Yeah,
And
no, for sure.
in the moment, you're not just going to think like, oh, this is just in my head. It's like, holy crap, get me the heck out of here. But I think a lot of times we can make our minds will play tricks on us and make us think that something's there that's really not, or we're making something out of something that's completely different.
Oh, yeah. It was Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
They also went to the copper mine.
Oh, nice.
There's an old hospital there that's supposedly way wicked haunted. My uncle, who used to work at the mine, says that he has some buddies that went there one night that worked at the mine. And it's private property, you can't get there, but since they work on the mine, they snuck there. And it was an old hospital back in like the late 1800s for all the miners and the people that lived in the village there. And supposedly it's one of the most haunted places in the country.
Wow.
So
Wait, this hospital?
Yeah, this hospital.
Do you know what the hospital's called?
Bingham Canyon Hospital. Let me see if I can find anything about it. Let's see. The Bingham Canyon Hospital. Let's see. I'll have to look it up. But so my uncle was telling me, I mean, it's all boarded up and closed off now, completely like falling apart. But these guys went one night and they had to climb in through the second story window that was broken out. Mm-hmm. And they said that as soon as they climbed in, it was a pretty windy night, and it was close to a full moon, so it was really bright outside. But they said, so when they were climbing up, you could hear the wind, you could see the trees blowing, you could see everything because it was a full moon. But when they went inside, everything went like completely silent and completely black.
Sheesh.
And they couldn't even see out the window anymore, like nothing. They couldn't hear the wind. They couldn't see anything. But then they started to hear like all these whispers and stuff around them. Then they turned, I don't know, that stopped after a minute, so they used their phone flashlights to like go through. They still stayed in there after that, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I would have jumped out the window.
I would have hopped in and be like, nope, out.
I'm heading out. But apparently they stayed, and there were some old tunnels that led from the hospital to the mine shaft so they could get injured miners in and out of there quicker. Mm-hmm. And they said they went and took... My uncle said he saw the pictures, and he's going to get them to me at some point. I should reach out to him.
Nice.
But he said there's one picture going down a tunnel where you can see like the silhouette of half of a miner. And he's like got his pickaxe, and he's got his helmet with his light on it, and then like a beard. And he's like walking down the tunnel. And he said there are a couple other pictures too that you can kind of see like silhouettes of doctors or other things like that. But yeah, pretty creepy. I don't know, but he said, so one of the guys, like all these guys that went are like big tough miners, you know,
right.
Big huge guys, like tough guys. But every time there's one miner that every time they drive by the hospital in their truck now, he'll just like hop in the back seat and he won't look at it, and he'll just like put his head down, and he refuses to like go near it or refuses to look at it because he's so scared.
Look at what?
The hospital.
Oh,
because they drive by it every day to go to and from like where they work.
Wow.
And so they were in their work. Anytime they're in their work truck, like driving past, he just like hides and doesn't look at it because he's still freaked out. Like years later. But yeah,
I don't like that.
A pretty crazy story that I always wanted to go there with my buddies. I could never find it though because it's like on the copper mine. You have to sneak on, and obviously at night, like we'd probably get caught. But I still kind of want to go.
Once
check
we
it
get the
out.
budget in our show,
Okay.
we'll go. Right now, we're have to settle for smaller things. We're going to try to do a live.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Live podcast.
Technically, these are all live. In some
Well,
sense.
this one will be on location.
Yes, we're going to go to a very, very small urban legend near us. We're going to try recording the whole thing, and we're going to see what happens. It's titled The Weeping Woman.
The Weeping Woman. Yep.
It's in the cemetery where we live. And, of course, it's in a cemetery. And it has to be on a full moon night at midnight. So we're waiting until then.
That'll be fun. We should get some people to go with us, like some of our local fans here to go if they want to go. We can do a podcast with some fans. And
I don't want to get too many people,
No,
though.
not too many.
Because once you have so many people, I feel like something like this isn't possible to get
Right.
a paranormal experience out of.
maybe like a couple, like 2 or 3, though.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
could go and just see what happens.
If you're in the area, let us know if you're interested. Hit
Yeah,
us up in those DMs.
Oh, I haven't seen a picture of the gravestone yet, but I'm looking at it right now. The legend is that there's this gravestone of a woman who she lost like 7 kids, right?
I think it was just 2.
Oh, 2. Wow. Okay. She lost all of her kids.
All of
right?
them.
All of her kids.
All 2 of them, or maybe more.
Oh, only 3 of 8 of them lived to adulthood. So she lost 5 of them.
Oh.
Wow, we were both off.
Yep.
Her name was Julia Cronquist, and she died in 1914 from a heart disease. But so her gravestone, because she lost so many kids, her gravestone is like a woman on the ground with her face in her hand weeping.
Yeah, she's like kneeling and she's like got her face in her hand, like crying. Like,
Yeah.
crying into her hand. And if I remember correctly, it's fairly life-sized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty big.
It's big.
It's on top of like a big
Pedestal
rectangular
kinda
stone.
thing.
Yeah. And then the statue's on top of that stone. And so the legend is that if you stand in front of it in the middle of the night
At midnight.
at midnight on a full moon and you say, "Weep, woman, weep," the statue will cry tears. And then I heard another one where if you do it again, she'll look up at you or something.
Something like that. I had a teacher in high school. She was super cool. She was super young and like super relatable. Anyway, she said she did it and was telling us about it. And she said that one time she did it and it looked up at her, yes. And then she said before she knew it, like the next time she blinked, she was like 20 feet away from it. Like 20 feet further back from the statue than when she was a second earlier. And she's like, I have no idea how that happened.
Weird.
I'm not sure if she's telling the truth, but that happened.
Interesting.
My
Cool.
one worry is school's just starting up and they're right next to a giant college. I'm wondering if there's going to be a bunch of freshmen out
Going
there doing the
yeah,
same thing.
That's true.
Find out, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll tell them about our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, while we're all there, we'll get them to listen to our podcast.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. Tell your friends. But yeah, I think we should do a couple things like that because it'd be fun to go and experience some things firsthand.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, there's just not a ton of right around here.
Right. We'll have to down in Salt Lake. There's a few. We went to another one called the Old Mill. This old building like by where my mom grew up by Brighton, like down on the middle of the Salt Lake Valley area by Big Cottonwood Canyon. There's this old paper mill down there, which now is all closed up. There was a fire in it in like the 80s, I think, on the inside, and so it's all burned out. But when my mom was a kid, they used to do Halloween parties there. And so she's been inside of it and everything, but they have it all boarded up. There's like a barbed wire fence around it. But the building, it's way cool because on one end there's a tower, and there are stairs that like switch back up the outside of the tower and go up to all 3 levels. And then there's like a basement area, and then two or three main floors. But it's if you look up pictures of the old mill, it's like a super creepy building, and it's off this side road towards the mouth of the canyon. So we went there one night it was me and 4 friends, and the legend is that there was a man and his dog that I guess died in the fire on the inside.
Oh, poor dog.
Yeah, and so the legend is if you go there, you can like hear the man on the inside like walking around, and his dog. So we go, and when took us a little bit to get in because we had to find a way through the fence. Oh wait, I should say this happened to two friends of mine that I know.
Right, of course.
They allegedly went through the fence,
Hmm.
past the no trespassing signs, and allegedly tried to get in the building. And so these friends of mine went to the stairs that went up the tower, and they'd go to every door, like listen at the door, and nothing there. Pretty creepy though. All the doors are like, they have bars like welded onto them, so you can't open them at all.
Dang. Don't want you getting in.
So the tower's like on the back side. If you go to the front side, there's a section where it looks like a big driveway that goes down to the basement. And all those doors down there are boarded up. And then next to the driveway, there was like the main entrance to the main floors.
Uh-huh.
And then there's some windows of the second floor. But the floors they're like, instead of being 10-foot stories, they're like 20 or 30-foot stories. So the
dang.
building's pretty big.
Right.
And so the only way that we could have gotten in was trying to climb up the side of the building and hop through one of the second floor windows. And we tried to get up there. The building, since it's super old, there's a bunch of like holes in the brick and mortar we could kind of climb up, but we couldn't quite get to the top. And it was dangerous because if it was burned out, we didn't know if there'd be floor. Like if we hopped in the window, we didn't want to fall and die. But we couldn't even get up there anyway. So we ended up my friends allegedly ended up trying to get in by taking a car jack and sticking it in between the door and one of the bars and extending the jack to like pry
it.
Yeah, to pry the bar off the door, which almost worked, but not quite. But while we were doing that on like the main door, we started to hear like some faint like banging on the inside. And it sounded like footsteps, like very faint, like tapping footsteps. And so, I mean, we're right up on the door trying to extend, like pull this thing and get leverage on it to extend it and then pry it open. So we're right there. My buddy Max and I. Oh, by the way, Max is the one that gave us the applause on the podcast. So shout out to Max.
Max, I love you.
Thanks, Max. You're boss. I haven't talked to him in forever. We've had some good stories too. But so Max and I are trying to pry this bar off this door. Or Max and this other friend of mine are allegedly doing this.
You're really keeping your story straight here, man.
Yep. Hey, I don't want to go to jail. I mean, I don't want my friends to go to jail. So.
Again.
Wait, statute of limitations. That protects crimes committed by minors, right?
Flip, I don't know.
Okay, I think it does. I watch a lot of White Collar, so I know the crime.
Well, that just means if you're a minor, you can do whatever the F you want?
I don't remember what it means exactly, but I also think it covers crimes committed like a certain amount of time ago, which this would have been... I was a junior, so this would have been 8 years ago. So I think I'm covered by the statute of limitations. But so we're trying to get in, we hear these faint footsteps. They started getting closer and faster, and to the point where it sounded like the person had turned towards the door and started running toward the door. And then there was just a loud bang on the other side of the door. And
like
we felt the door... Huh?
Just like a smack.
Yeah, like a smash on the door. Like the guy had tried to like break the door down. And then the door like shook too. So we jump off the door and we're freaking out. We're like flipping out for a second. And the other kids that were with like, what? Like they heard the bang and they're like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. Like, what was that? And so then we go back and we try to get the thing off again. And it happened like 3 times. Like every time we'd go up, it would happen again. So we started getting freaked out really bad. And we never got the bar off the door. So we ended up leaving. But it was crazy, dude. The thing that was craziest was we weren't just hearing it, but we felt the door shake.
Dang.
And so, I mean, you could say the most logical, real explanation, I guess, would be that someone else was there and, like, trying to freak us out, you know?
Like, oh, there's someone trying to get in. Let's scare them.
Right, exactly. Like, because it's a pretty popular legend down there. Like, the old mill, like, it's an old building, so it could have been possible someone was just hanging out there and, like, waiting for people to come and scare them. But I don't know how the heck they got in, because we couldn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
And we were close, but it was hard to get in. So if they got in, like, they were pretty skilled and, like, had to have a lot of upper body strength to climb that wall. But it's possible. But I don't know, dude. It was freaky because the door, like, shook. So it was crazy. It was scary. So then we left.
Good call.
But yeah, I haven't been back since. I've driven past it a couple times, and every time I do, I'm just like, oh, that place is weird. Like, that's creepy. Yeah, but look up pictures. We'll also post a picture in the show notes of the old mill.
We will not post it in the show notes. We will post it on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, yes, we will do that.
Which we will put links to in the show notes. And
Right.
if you're not following, please do.
Yep. Hit subscribe on whatever podcast app you're listening on. That's the best way to help us out.
That helps us out.
Yeah, tell your friends. It gets us up higher on the charts.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then do it.
We have subscribers.
Subscribe, please.
Tell your
Even
friends.
if you don't listen, just hit subscribe.
Yeah. Even if you don't like us, just take 5 seconds and hit the subscribe button.
And you never have to listen to us again.
Yeah.
Although I would like you to.
But, I mean, obviously you like us.
You love us. We're so much fun.
Right. We will have that guy come on and tell a Skinwalker story, though, which will be cool.
That would be awesome. He's agreed to it?
Yeah, he's agreed to it.
Sweet. Yeah, we
I
can
just need to get in contact with him and set it up.
just get a call set up, or
Yeah.
even Skype call, phone call.
Yep. We just got to figure out how to record it. So,
Yeah,
well,
that's not gonna be a
yeah, it
problem.
won't be hard. But I kind of miss the days of just like being able to go out and go on crazy adventures like that.
Yeah, life's too crazy now.
Yeah.
Adulting sucks.
We'll get some cool on location stuff though. We do need to go down to Salt Lake, and we should go back to the old mill.
No, I agree. I think that would be a lot of fun. We should do something like that. Maybe make a weekend out of it.
We'll go to the nunnery. We'll camp out at the nunnery one night.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I love how I'm so interested in this subject of horror and creepiness, but as soon as it's firsthand, I'm like, no.
Dude, I am serious though. I like even when I leave here to go home, I am freaked out walking to my car.
Oh, I
It's
believe
like,
it.
oh my gosh, it's freaking dark. It's because I'm like of the belief that if you like talk about these things and like research them, like you're gonna invite it into your life, and you're surrounding yourself with that kind of stuff.
Well, then I'm screwed then.
Yeah, we're
'Cause-
both screwed.
At work, all I listen to is creepypastas while I work,
Yeah,
which are a lot of fun. They're very well written stories, and
Yeah.
they're obviously fake. They're known for being fake. They're just stories.
we're like the No Sleep podcast.
I used to listen to
quite a
that
bit.
one.
Yeah,
It was weird acting though.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Alien Theorists Theorizing.
Great podcast.
They're one of my favorites
Great
right now.
podcast.
I should reach out to them like on Twitter because they're pretty active on social media.
Dude, absolutely.
And see if we can do a pod with them.
Dude, that would be like honestly like a dream come true because those guys are sick.
If you haven't heard of them, go listen to them. Alien Theorists Theorizing. There's a few Canadian guys and one American guy, and they just talk about aliens and conspiracies and weird stuff, kind of like we do. They've been doing it for a few years now. I think since like
They're really
2016.
good at it.
They're really good at it. They have awesome content.
They're funny,
Yeah, they're pretty funny. So go check them out.
but you have to keep listening to us too.
Yes.
You can't
course.
just say like, "Oh, they're better. We're gonna listen to them," and drop tangent off their radar.
Right,
Don't do that.
but-
You're not allowed.
I'll reach out to them and see if I can get in contact with them.
Yeah, because they do a lot of stuff on. Gosh,
Oh my
dang.
gosh, the lights again. Oh,
I need to turn off that timer.
turn it on, man.
Gosh.
Oh, okay. There we go. Dude, your TV is bright.
It's big, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Got what, 4 or 5 screens going on right here.
Yeah.
And my PC itself is. We got plenty of lights. We good, homie.
Yeah. Dude, you got any other creepy stories for me?
Not
Funny
off the top of my
stories
head.
or...
I'm trying to think. I actually listened to a few today that claim to be true stories. I can't remember them though. What were they?
I wish I had more. You know what I want? I want an alien experience, dude. I want to have, like, an alien experience so bad.
An encounter.
Yeah.
we read about these encounters, but wait.
I told you. Did I tell you about the? You're gonna think I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Everyone's gonna think I'm nuts after this episode.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, I was out driving Uber one night at like 3 a.m. and I saw something. It was not a plane, unless it was like a freaking fighter jet going Mach 5. It was not a shooting star. It was not a plane. I don't know what the heck it was, but it was like this really bright orangish red light like above the mountain. And I saw it go from one end of the valley, so pretty far, all the way to the other, and disappear from view in like 8 seconds.
Dang.
It was like super fast. So obviously if you're seeing a plane, like it's going to take
It's going to take
while
like a couple
for you.
minutes, like a minute
Yeah.
or two to get from one end to the other end of the horizon.
Right. So I looked up that night, like the ISS tracker, because you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see where the ISS is. Like I shouldn't have been able to see that. There were no like meteor showers. It definitely was not a shooting star, because you see those for like a second and they're gone.
Yeah, they burn out super
Yeah,
quick.
and they're not that bright. It was like pretty bright, and it was trucking, man. It was going so fast. And so I was driving, and I saw it on the horizon, and it was coming. So then I like stopped for a second and just watched it go, and it like went all the way across the sky, and I was like, "Holy crap, what is that?" And then had to sit and think for a minute about what it could be, and I still don't know what it was.
Did you have a passenger at the time?
No, I was
Dang.
by myself.
That'd be cool if
I
you
had
did.
just dropped a guy off like a couple minutes earlier, but
Speaking of your Uber experience, I hear you got a few Uber passengers to listen.
I did.
If you are listening,
Campbell was the guy's name, so Campbell and his friends.
Campbell, I love you.
Picked them up from a party tonight, told them about us. Hopefully they can find it. They all listen on Apple, and apparently on
It's
Apple
hard,
it's hard
to find
us.
On every other platform, it's super easy. You just type in Tangent. It's one
Right.
of the top ones.
On Apple, you have to like search by the episode name.
Yeah, I've tried. Like, I have family members that use almost all of them use iPhones. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh look, it's right here, and
Can't find it.
I can't find it by typing in Tangent.
Nope.
I have to type in American Urban Legends, which is the title of a lot of our episodes,
Yeah.
and then it pops up, which is really annoying. But if you have friends with Apple, let them know that so they can find us.
Spotify's pretty popular though, so Spotify, that's where I listen.
I listen on
and-
Pocket Casts.
Yeah, Pocket Casts, Stitcher is another one I listen
Google
on. You can find it
Podcasts.
super easy there. But yeah, for some reason Apple, it's hard to find.
I guess they're just harsh on the new people.
Yeah.
That's why
I
we need
guess.
those subscribes and those 5-star ratings and those thumbs up and
Yep.
listen so that we can bump up the charts a little bit so we're more noticeable.
I also think Apple Podcasts is the only one we're on where you can leave reviews.
Yeah, I know you can leave ratings there and reviews, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you can anywhere else, which is weird to me.
Why
would you not
Let
be
me
able to
see
do
if
that?
you can on Spotify.
I don't think you can. I don't
I
use
w-
Spotify though, so I
I
don't know.
would think you should be able to, because Spotify,
It's pretty big.
it's pretty big.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I can't find anywhere to
But
leave
if you
one.
do listen on Apple, go ahead and leave a rating if you would like.
Yep.
An honest rating of what you think of us. And suggestions as well. And talk to us on social media. Follow us on social media. You got anything else for us today, or are we going to cut it off there?
I think we'll cut it off there.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of what we do, like the new segment we did earlier on this episode with the scary story or whatever. I shot her a message on Reddit.
Did you?
I did.
I'm gonna message ATT right now.
I told her I was like, hey, we host a podcast. We came across your story. Would you be interested in talking a little bit more about it? And we'll see what she says, if anything at all. But if she does, then you guys will be first to know. So yeah, we definitely want more than just us, because we don't have enough experience between the two of us. I mean, obviously we can read online and get all that, but you can too. But we want some people that have some real good first-hand experience in this stuff.
Right.
Including you guys. Let us know.
Yeah,
Tangent.
definitely send us your weird experiences, or if you have something you've heard from a friend, or
Maybe you
a
saw this
legend.
scary story online. You can just
Yeah.
give us a link, and
yeah,
we will definitely... Anything that's sent to us, we'll research.
yeah. Anyone who's been encountered by aliens, let me know how
Austin's
you did
very intrigued by the alien side of it.
I listened to this comedian who talked about how the world is like the Alabama of the universe, and the aliens never want to come here because every time they do, they pick up some redneck named Cletus in the middle of the woods, and no one ever believes him. And it's always crazy, but like
true.
that's seriously, it's always like some guy in the middle of the nowhere that gets picked up and tells some crazy story, and no one ever believes him.
Right. It's never like a well-established businessman or
Right.
something like that.
Right. I think I would be scared out of my mind if I encountered aliens,
Oh, absolutely.
but I want to know. Maybe I shouldn't say these things because I'm not going to get
Careful
abducted
what you wish
on my way
for.
home tonight. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I'll take one for the team.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You got to believe me though if I ever get abducted.
I'll consider it.
Okay.
I'll put you on the believability scale.
All right.
We'll talk about that. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Okay.
But yeah, all the classics. Follow us on social media. Let us know what you think. Send us stuff. We do this every time. I'm getting sick of it, honestly. So Austin can do it.
Go follow us. Give us a like. You can share our page as well. So
Chris did that. Thanks,
tell your
Chris.
friends. Yeah, shout out to Chris again. What a trooper. What a legend. Yeah, guys, tell your friends. Get the name out there, and let us know what you want to hear. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.